congratulations on taking the next step towards bladder leakage control with Contino. My name is Robert Orr. I'm the president and CEO of Light 360 Innovations, the makers of Contino. And I'm delighted to prepare this video for you to help you complete your bladder diary as part of your continence assessment. As you can see on the screen here, I've got a blank version of the bladder diary for you. It is a document that you can fill out online if you want. So you can literally go in and type in some stuff, and I'll show you that in a second. Or you can print it out and actually complete it manually. Whatever is the best for you is obviously fine with us. If you print it out manually, you'll need to take a picture of it and then send it to us by way of email. And otherwise, if you do it actually online, then you can just actually save it to your hard drive and then just send us the completed version. Let's get started. So there's this reference guide here that we've developed, and these are on industry best standard. These are medical standards that we're using, so that to the extent that you use these terms, they're helpful for our other medical professionals, call it our Contino trainers and the Contino support, to just have a really standardized way of looking at some of the stuff. So please try to adhere to the kind of the standardized descriptions. Whatever measuring method you choose, just stick with it for that particular day or for the 3 days if you can. 250 mils is the same as an 8 ounce, which is the same as 1 cup. So that just gives you a bit of a sense of it. And we've got some definitions there of small, medium, and large. And then we've got, when we talk about urine color, urine stream, the amount of leakage, the same, call it small, medium, large. What kind of activity, try to be as descriptive as you can. Pad, brief, saturation, that's also helpful. Whether you felt the urge reflex when you needed to go to the washroom or before you actually had a leak. And then again, the urge strength, record mild, moderate, strong. And then every time you use a pad or brief, just put the word P or B in the appropriate column. And then, complete the bottom of the form, which talks about the number of pads, the total volume consumed and expelled, and when you woke up and slept. The more detail you provide, the better the information, the better we can help develop a personalized plan for you. So let's get started. It's very simple. So top left-hand corner, I'm just going to put in my name. I'm just going to type it. I can use the tab button and get over. So today is July 18th. 2023. I am, let's see if it goes right to there. I'm 6 foot. Whoops. And 185. And because it's my first, actually, if you hit tab, sometimes you'll advance down to the next one. It's a little bit finicky from time to time, but I'm not using the Contino, so I'm going to say no for the Contino, and I'm just going to click day 1 there, and let's get started. So the idea is that you would describe, kind of on between 6 and 7, kind of what happened to the extent anything did. There's going to be a lot of blank squares here, which is fine. You haven't got any information to add. That's fine. You may not have had activity in that particular time frame, which is obviously okay. So I'm just going to assume that I'm going to record my day. So I woke up and had a glass of water. I had just 1 cup, so I'm going to go 250 mLs, and then I actually went to the washroom as well, and I was able to measure it. I had a 400 ml, and the color, it's first thing in the morning, is a little bit darker, so I'm going to say it was dark yellow. And the stream, I'm going to say is normal. I would say when you're comparing your normal stream, like really before you had to manage your incontinence, potentially prior to when you had your prostate surgery or TURP procedure or some other some other medical condition or condition that required or impacted you and you became incontinent. So normal is fine. But to the extent that you have difficulty starting, or if it's intermittent, or if it's split or whatever, so that's what you want to put in there. And then I didn't leak first thing, which is great. So I'm going to leave that blank. So because I didn't leak, I'm not going to put any activity per se around what caused the leakage. I don't have to wear a pad at night, so I'm going to leave this blank as well. But when I woke up, I did feel the urge sensation, and first thing in the morning, actually, it was strong. So I'm going to refer to the key, but it was a strong feeling. But as I want to get about my day, I did put in a new pad. So I'm going to go P as a new pad. So I went and did some exercise. First thing in the morning, I did a relatively vigorous walk. And I actually, with the walk, was quite vigorous. I did actually have a bit of a leak. It wasn't very significant. So I was able to measure it, and I could talk about that in a minute. And it was during, you call it fast walk. And I would say the saturation level was medium. And I didn't have to replace the pad, and I didn't have the urge sensation before I had the leak. Now, when you're estimating the amount of fluid that's gone into the pad, what we suggest you do at the start of the process is you maybe take a brand new pad or a brand new brief, and then pour in successive amounts, like 50 mils of water into the pad, and then pick it up and get a feel for how heavy it is and what that level of saturation. And then you get a feel like, what does 50 mils look like? What is 100 mils? What is 150? What is 250? What is 350? Depending on the pad or a brief. The better you do at estimating, the better the information is for us to help develop a plan that works for you. So anyways, as we go through the course of the day, I will continue to kind of record that type of information. Let's say when I'm back from my walk, I have a nice coffee. I actually have 2 coffees. So I'm going to put 500 ml in there. And I didn't have to go to the bathroom, and I didn't have a leak. So I'm just going to leave the rest blank. And then, I've had now 250 and 500. I've emptied 400 really kind of from the night before. And then you're going to start to see that there's a bit of a pattern of, when you consume fluid, how quickly the fluid kind of comes out. Typically, it's somewhere between 2 to 4 hours. And so just to be consistent with this, I'm going to say, you know what, I had another small leak. I had to do some household chores around the house. So I'm just going to say, kind of housework. And I'm going to say it's actually medium as well. And at this point, I've had 2 small leaks into the pad. I'm actually going to go and get a new pad in. And again, if you felt the urge reflex before that happening, great, put it in here. But if you didn't, that's fine too. So more or less, this is what you're going to do throughout the day. And then remember, at the end of the day, for some of these columns, we want a total. So obviously, you'll have more, but just for simplicity, it's 750 mils here. It's 400 for the urination. And then if I go 100 and 150, so that's 250. So that's 250. And so what I'm trying to look at, and I want you to kind of get an understanding as well, is so of the total fluid in and the fluid out, which is a combination of both the volume that you urinate in toilet plus what you leak into a pad or a brief, start to see a pattern of how much is captured in one versus the other, and what's the aggregate volume here. It doesn't have to be an exact number. It doesn't have to be exactly 750 and 750, the combination of these two, but it does give us a little bit of help about what gives insight in terms of what's happening. And then, in fact, I was using a pen pad. I was using a pad. Sorry, oops, my typing is bad here. And this particular night, particular day, I was up for 16 hours, and I was asleep for about 8. And I had to get up once that night at about 3 p.m. And so, if it was if you had to, let's say you had to urinate that night, to the extent that you could, you record how much you urinated. So you put it in this column here. If you should have done that already, and then if you got the urge reflex, whether you had to change your pad or not. That's really it. And then we've just got 2 more days of the same thing. And you know what? The better the information better the information that we are able to help develop a plan, and you can get a much better understanding of what's going to be helpful for you in terms of managing your incontinence. Don't hesitate to reach out. We're more than happy to help. and give it a really good effort. And we'll go over this in detail with your continence assessment shortly. Thanks.